My name is Scottie Gratton. I'm from the Diocese of Burlington, Vermont. I'm 25 years old. This is my 4th year in seminary, 4 of 6, God willing. So what's great about seminary is they have a pillar devoted to pastoral work. I mean, that's our life, is we give up our lives to serve others. That's the definition of a priest, really. And so they assign us apostolates where we go out and help people and serve, volunteer our time. And so I've worked in prison ministry. I've taught catechism to 6th graders. I've worked with inner city school kids as mentors. And right now I just finished 2 years of working with an elderly community here in Rome with the Little Sisters of the Poor, who take care of the elderly who can't take care of themselves, and their families don't have enough money to help them as well. So I go over and I serve lunch once a week to them, and I try to just spice things up and make them laugh as much as I can. But really, my time over there consists of spreading joy. I mean, if you've ever met most elderly, I mean, there are some exceptions, but most elderly people like their rigid schedules, and I go in there every week and they sit in the exact same spot and they get their pasta at the exact same time, and if it's messed up, they know it and they'll let you know, like, something, you're not doing a good job right now, my pasta isn't here. And so I try to get in there and just make them laugh. So at the beginning it's always kind of like really drawing it out of them, like, how's your day? And they're like, oh, insomma, like, it's okay. And then slowly throughout I'm like trying to juggle fruit, or I'm trying to crack jokes in Italian, or they're just picking on how bad my Italian is, and slowly you just draw them out of themselves, and you see their smiles, and that's what I love about it. It's not, I mean, they don't really need me there to serve lunch. What they need is someone to just show them that they love them. And I think that goes for every age group in the world, really. It's just, there are lonely people all over the place, and can I be the person to bring Christ's love to them if they don't feel it from anyone else around them? I've noticed with all of the apostolates that I've done in my life, I kind of have these preconceived notions of what they're going to be like at the beginning, and at the end, when I leave them, they were completely different than what I thought from the beginning. It's because I've grown throughout it. It's not because they've necessarily changed. It's because I've either changed my approach or have relied more on God and less on myself throughout the process. So I remember last year when I started working with these elderly people, they kind of, some days are hard, they don't open up, and I can do all the juggling or singing I want to, or make a fool out of myself or whatever, or try to talk religion with them or anything, and you just feel like you're just getting beat, by the waves of the storm almost, and you leave it kind of like, what was that about, Lord? Like, I didn't do anything to help anyone today, and I just feel broken right now. And I came to the realization this year that I was going into these things almost to feel good about myself, and it was definitely, I wanted to help other people, but it was also kind of a selfish, like, I only think I'm doing good work if I feel good at the end of it. And it kind of reminded me that this isn't about me, and if I'm really giving myself to other people, I mean, if I come away with it feeling like nothing has ever happened, it doesn't matter, because the Lord is the one who's working through me. And even our failures, I think most of the time the Lord works best with our failures. So what we think are failures, He comes out and you really see differences and changes. At the beginning of my seminary life, I kind of like, I did my studies here and I did my prayer here, and then it was, okay, this is the time set aside for my apostolate. And as I've grown in my faith with the Lord, I realized that the people who designed seminary are geniuses, because it really blends everything together. My prayer life means nothing if it's not without apostolic works and serving people, and my studies mean nothing if it's not being used to serve other people. And so my apostolate, sure, is one thing that I do a week or a month, but I've learned that, like, my entire life is an apostolate. So whether it's walking back from class and meeting lost American tourists on the street who think they're lost trying to find some monument in Rome, but you really find out after an hour talking with them that they're searching for God, and that they don't know why, if they should leave their faith or leave their church because they don't feel anything from it anymore, and you're the one who kind of gives them hope and teaches them, no, it's much more than that. It's the Eucharist. It's not whether your singing is bad in church or whether the priest gives a boring homily. Like, yeah, those things all help for sure, and we all suffer through them every now and then, but if you don't love the Eucharist, then nothing that you do in your life will matter. And so all these things are apostles. We try to bake cookies and bring them to the poor people of Rome once a week, and simple things like that, just showing people that they have dignity and that they have love. And then when I first did that, when I first brought cookies to people on the streets in Rome, I was scared out of my mind. I mean, I'm going out at night and I don't know who these people are, and if they don't respond back to me, I feel like all weird, and I'm like, are they gonna, they just think I'm stupid right now. And there's a lot of pride in that almost. It's like I was worried about my pride being bruised, and I think that's the biggest thing about when serving other people. It's, if you're doing it for the Lord, you just check your ego at the door and just go into it with your whole heart, because He's the one who's taking care of it. And if you come away and you feel like, these people think I'm stupid or they don't like anything that I did, which happens. I mean, even with the poor people on the street, sometimes you get bad responses and they kind of yell at you, and then you feel like, oh man, am I helping out at all, But you are, and that's the thing. You can't come back and feel bruised about it. You have to just pick up your cross like the Lord did. He fell 3 times, Pick up your cross, get up again, and just follow Him, because you can't have the resurrection without the cross. And you find the courage to keep going, and you rely on Him in everything you do, and that's what makes all the difference. Sometimes you'll get the question whether everyone has to have an apostolate or everyone needs to serve. Isn't it enough that I just am a good person and that's it? And I think the definition of a good person by a Christian standpoint is to lose yourself for other people. I mean, that's what the Lord says. The greatest love that you have is to lay down your life for your friends. So it's not, you don't need to be studying to be a priest or entering a religious order necessarily to serve. Everyone's called to serve. Everyone, especially if you're Catholic. I mean, it's ingrained in our hearts. It was ingrained in your baptism, whether you know it or not, on your heart, that you were made to serve other people. And it can be in the littlest ways as well. I mean, I didn't start out by walking the streets of Rome and finding any little possibility that I could to evangelize for Christ. I mean, you start out with baby steps. I mean, I had to learn who Christ was, first of all. I had to learn to rely on Him and to pray to Him. It's as simple as, when I'm with my community here, when I'm feeling bad or I have a down day, can I still muster up the strength to smile at someone else who I know is having a harder time than I am? Can I go out of my way to make them feel like they're loved? Everyone is called to do that. And if you think that you're a good person, then you're already doing that. And just notice them. Notice these little things that you're doing as apostolates, little mini apostolates. And if you notice that and ask the Lord to help you, ask Him to come into your mini apostolates and do greater work with you, it'll get greater and greater, and it'll snowball, and you'll find out that your entire life will be an apostolate, and that you'll be doing everything, laying down your life for the Lord and His sheep.
If you would like to participate in the next program of Cast Out Your Nets, sharing your testimony of apostolate and evangelization, visit our website at www.eukmami.org for more information.